Evelyn, it's good to see you. I'm grateful we get to have this conversation today. So you grew up in Northern Uganda. Could you talk to us a little bit about how those experiences shape your commitment to peace building?
For me, growing up in Northern Uganda and going through very challenging living conditions, of course, dictated by the war, meant that many young people had to sleep in bushes, had to sleep under the verandas, had to sleep in churches, in gazetted places, in town areas. This made many young children, young people to walk long distances in fear of being abducted, of course. And for me, such conditions saw many young girls, including some of my friends, being defiled, being raped, and of course, dropping out of school. So for me, this gave me, a lot of pain, and it shaped my commitment to peace building at an early stage.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Thank you for sharing that. And was there a particular moment that you realized that you wanted to dedicate your professional career to supporting communities and building peace?
Completing my undergraduate studies, and of course, after completing, being deployed as a research assistant in an internally displaced people's camps in Kitgum District, gave me a paradigm shift from doing just counseling, but involving more into peace building initiatives. Of course, as I worked in the internally displaced people's camps, I saw a lot of misery. I saw the harsh living conditions in the camp, and for me, it was very sad seeing young girls and women, of course, being subjected to go through sexual abuse, violence in exchange for better opportunities. This was, for me, a turning point to support communities build peace, which would in turn help them to engage in constructive activities and then earn a decent living. So after undergraduate, this is when I decided, to venture into the peace building initiatives.
That's inspiring. As a female leader, what challenges have come up for you along the way? And how can organizations like ours do a better job of supporting more women to lead?
Leadership in itself is never easy. And in fact, sometimes a very lonely arena. Of course, it requires vision, it requires resilience, it requires the ability to make very tough decisions. But for women in leadership, the journey often comes with additional challenges, barriers that our male counterparts rarely have to face. There are issues of unconscious bias. This affects how women leaders are perceived and treated. When a woman leader is assertive, they'll either be considered as bossy when you are flexible to make the environment such conducive, peaceful to work in, you are always considered or labeled as a weak leader. While men with the same traits are seen as strong leaders at the end of the day. There are issues of high expectations and harsh judgment. Of course, we see that women leaders are often held to higher standards than our male counterparts. Now, a mistake made by a woman can be seen as incompetence, while a mistake made by a man is often brushed off as, a learning experience, which for me, I think is very wrong. There are also issues of cultural stereotype. In some communities, women are not allowed to talk in public. In fact, at the time when we're expanding the Karamoja program, our operations in Karamoja sub-region, one of the district chairpersons told me, if you are the boss, please know that in these communities, women are not allowed to speak. I was in shock, but I had to compose myself and, smartly engaged him and told him, today you are going to allow me make this presentation, but I can assure you that in the next engagement, I'm going to delegate a man to be able to speak on my behalf. And indeed that happened. So you'd see that some of these things really, gives us a lot of challenges, to be able to, carry out our leadership roles within the community. So an organization like a WPDI can always provide more mentorship, more coaching and sponsorship opportunities, which I think are critical for career growth, to ensure that, we have more of these women, regardless of, the challenges that they go through, they are able to be supported through such, initiatives, provide mentorship, do coaching, but importantly also, sponsorship programs that can be able to support them in their career growth. So this is what I think.
Yeah, that speaks to the reality that so many women face. And you've led WPDI's work in Uganda for many years. In your perspective, what makes our approach to peace building different?
Because what makes the peace building initiatives so unique is that the peace initiative is unique for its inclusiveness. And of course, the participatory community-led engagements, which we have seen have delivered tangible, peaceful resolutions over the years. Of course, working with communities to provide for sustainability and continuity in the event that WPD is not there. So for me, I would think it is unique in such a way that because we work with these communities, we are able to, provide a tangible, peaceful resolution within the communities. And yes, we've seen this happen over the years. But important that our youth peacemaker network model is so unique in its approach of empowering future leaders. Of course, these leaders, we've seen that shape each communities and translate into positive outcomes. The most recent development is the election of one of our TOTs in Agago as a member of parliament for this 2026. And of course, many more other leaders who were elected before this period of time. We've seen that through the TOT, the Youth Peacemaker Network model, we've been able to mold leaders at the end of the day who can go back to their communities and be able to, promote change and be able to speak to issues that affect the community. So this is where I see the uniqueness of our peace building initiative really lie. Thank you very much.
So happy to hear that. It's exactly the vision I created WPDI with. And looking ahead, what advice would you give to young women who want to become leaders and change makers?
Advice that I can give for young women and change makers who want to become leaders is that, to every young woman and change maker out there who want to become a leader, you belong there. You deserve your seat at the table. And of course, when the right time comes or when the chance comes, lead with confidence and authenticity. You won't just break barriers, but you will set a new standard for other leaders who will come after you. So I would encourage them to take it on once the opportunity comes for them.
Yeah, just hearing you belong here changes everything. What gives you hope, especially in today's world when it feels like we really need it?
Our program has been able to put a smile on people's faces. For me, when I go out there to visit different projects, to monitor the implementation, I see a lot of smile on people's faces. And this is what really gives me hope that we've been able to do something that has translated their pain into, smile at the end of the day. But importantly, the ripple effects of our program are changing thousands of lives and providing a decent livelihood opportunities where women and young girls don't have to compromise their health and a living. This is what gives me a lot of hope.
Thank you. That brings me hope too. Evelyn, thank you for sharing your story, for everything you've given to this work over the years. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Uganda soon.